I put out a survey to the streets because I'm here to cover information from the community.
Senator.
And there's been a controversial conversation about Afrobeats and Brunch.
This vibe is addictive.
We are back. This is the Afrobeats and Brunch podcast. These are our hosts for today. You know, we got YP and Muoka Mills in the building. And, you know, we're going to touch base on a couple of things. First of all, thank you guys for coming today.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, thank you guys for really taking the time to come out and chill with us and hang out with us.
Big honor.
You know, eat with us.
Yes, sir.
Chop life, man. That's what it is.
This trophy is a real trophy.
Now, when we started, you know, we had our first, I spoke to you about even 2 months ago when we had our first Afrobeats and Brunch podcast, and I asked for your feedback and things on it. You know, one of the things that you did mention was you guys didn't even touch base on the, you know, the origination of Afrobeats and Brunch. So it's dope that you're here, you know, so maybe, you know, we can let the people know, you know, where Afrobeats and Brunch came from. As you all know, each and every Sunday, we're at La Soup. It's a dope vibe. Everybody's been, you know what I mean?
That's the standard now.
It's crazy. So just to kind of give you guys, we got to, you know, keep it short and sweet so we move on. You know, we started at what? Pistic, we started way back in what, 2000, not way, we saying it way back, actually it's recent, 2018, like right?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. Like, when we like, the idea, I'm like, it came from one time I was, I went with, you know, I think with some of our peoples, and some girls, and we went just on a regular day at La Soup, and I was just like, yo, and I've always gone to La Soup, but for some reason that day, the vibe that we had when we were out, I was like, yo, it would be dope if we brought like an African vibe here. So it was like, then me and Pistic, we was just like, you know, we've been moving, and we was just talking and things like that, and then we went there, we went to La Soup, I met with the lady or whatever, and originally we were gonna do it like on some once a month thing. Wow. Honestly and truly. And it's so crazy. Pistic and the lady were like, no, because the lady was like, yo, why don't you do it every week? And I was like, you know what? That's not what I was thinking about for it originally, but that's not a bad idea either. Okay. So from there we just started rocking. And I'ma just segue into, you know, when did you feel like YP or when did you guys feel like that impact, like, okay, this thing was like, from when it started to like where it's at now, when did you guys feel like, yo, this thing is gone, and what do you feel it's done for you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think before YP dives into it, when I found out that I was going to be part of this platform, today's event, I put out a survey to the streets because I'm here to cover information from the community.
Senator.
And there's been a controversial conversation about Afrobeats and Brunch. So the street members asked me to address it today, and I think today will be the best time to address it.
Let's do it. So, you know, we spicy, so, you know, we got
new mills was going.
We gotta go spicy.
You always got the juice.
Always got some from the streets. So the first question was the name, right? A few people were bothered by the name because he felt like it was duplicated based on an existing event in the community.
And what was that existing event in the community?
Can you finish?
Oh, my okay. I
want to get into it. This is what I'm talking about. Yo, he's,
you know what I mean?
keep it going, please.
I want to hear this. Okay.
The first information that came out from the street is a guy by the name of DJ Nani curated an event called Brunch and Vibes, which was a weekly on a Sunday, and then your organization came out with Afrobeats and Brunch, which is a different name, but the community felt like it was originated from someone else's event that was already existing. So I don't know if you guys want to clear that up.
Okay, we can definitely clear that up, and I'm glad you actually brought that up. Okay.
Can I ask him a question?
Yes, sir.
So is that why that event stopped, or like?
No, let's not even do that.
No, I just want to
address it.
I don't know the reasons why events stopped, but I just know that someone had an idea.
If anything, right? His fans are not loyal. When he started doing his thing, we were already in talks with Lesouk. We didn't even know about. I mean, I knew about Nanny's event.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know what you call it, Amadeus, that's a brunch event.
Yeah.
Every Sunday.
We're
We
talking
could get
about
that too.
Yeah, no, we're talking about the
hold on,
context
hold on.
of the Afrobeat scene, right? The
And it
Afrobeat
all
scene.
comes down to his fans. They're
Listen,
not
no, it's
loyal.
not
At
even
the
about
end,
a
no.
This is not- let me
Can I
talk.
finish?
It's about a duplicate thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm
If
saying.
I duplicate something and Mills, you have your fans.
But that's the thing. We didn't
What?
do. You're saying there was
Listen,
no.
no, I'm
duplication.
going based
That's
off
not-
what they're saying.
Okay, all right. Based off what they're saying.
What the streets is saying.
What the
Yeah, I'm
streets
going
is
based
saying.
off what they
Yeah,
say.
let's correct that. There was no
If that's
duplication.
what we did,
None.
he had his
Whatsoever.
fans, right?
Yeah.
We never went to them and said, yo, this shit not doing well, come to this, come to that. If anything, ours was a late event. Anytime his fans finish, they come to our event. So that shouldn't have anything to do with what we're doing. It has nothing to do with us.
I think it was so much so the type of event it was. No, before you guys.
If that's the
before-
case, there will be only
Let me.
one
Let me.
Afrobeat
First
artist.
of all.
If
The
that's
word.
the case, there will be
Definitely.
only one Afrobeat artist.
Hold
'Cause
on. It's not
you-
even that because I'm.
Come on.
First of all, the word duplication, I'm already offended, and I get offended when I hear that because if people know me, like I could sit here and I can tell you how I don't even want to. This is not about a me and Nani, or I don't even want to do that.
It's not
I
about
can. That it's not about that. Listen, I am not a person. If you know me and people that know me and people that surround me, I'm not a person that duplicates. I'm a person that if something I'm bringing to the scene is something that hasn't been done. Okay? That's if we bring in something to the scene. Do you know how long, and you can ask Pista, do you know how long I was talking and thinking about Afrobeats and Brunch? First of all, when we tested out Afrobeats and Brunch, what a lot of people don't know, we launched the real official one that we launched was that Memorial Sunday. Prior to that, we were testing it out to see how it'd be, the vibe. We did when we had Ghana Made. And we did our first weekend. That Sunday was at Lesouk. We did another event. We did another event with Bisa on a Sunday. And if you look at that flyer, it said Afrobeats and Brunch on it. So we were long in talks. You think I sit there as long as I've been first of all been doing this, you think I sit there and I have the time, and I have the time to look at what, especially somebody that I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not even gonna do, because I do have respect for Nani. Believe it or not, I really do. I have a lot of respect. And what's crazy is, you can even ask Pistic, there's times because of where Afrobeats and Brunch has gone, because it's not even about us. And you know me, I'm not even a person, I don't entertain it.
Yeah.
I don't, because I'm like, are you kidding me? Let's look at the caliber of both events to think it's on a scale where we would duplicate something. Let's look at the caliber of events, and let's look at the longevity.
Just to address this is a
to address the duplication.
Okay, so
I
it wasn't
said,
duplicated.
it was
already
definitely
in the
not
works.
far from that.
Okay, now it's far
What
from
time
it.
is that? So
And so that's why
It's
I understand what
spread
Pistic. Hold on,
out.
I
It's
understand.
spread out.
I understand what Pistic was saying,
Yeah.
but I understand everything that Pistic was saying. But it's like I don't even want Pistic to have to even explain as if like we
I'm
were
explaining to the
thinking.
street. That's what
like,
they say.
yeah,
So
streets
I'm
is
just
always
breaking
But this is what I want
down
to say. I think you guys
what
have
you're
cleared it up in regards to it already being in the works. It's just that it became more visible and
Like
That's
sometimes
not- that's not
there's a
their
lot of
fault.
things.
Yeah, it's not
No,
just
it's
their
not.
fault. Yeah.
Exactly. But it's
So-
like sometimes two things are a conversation.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes two things are a
You're right.
conversation.
You're right. You are right.
And I feel like, sometimes like me, I'm going to call you. Why I call you. Muoka, I call. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's communication.
Yes.
Okay. That's fair.
But one definite thing, no duplication.
Okay,
I won't even
that.
for me. I won't even do it.
All right, just
I
to
will
tell her that conversation, I think we've passed that now. I think when I spoke to Nani, he's open to having a conversation with you. I think we've passed that
And that's
season.
crazy. I still,
But
you know what's so
what's
crazy?
If you never said this, we'd be over here all the time like, yo, Manny, what do you think about like Nanny having a night?
Nani is one of the top Afrobeat DJs.
Yo, that Saturday,
Nobody
that
taking that
Saturday,
from
because
him.
I'm very
Nobody
observant.
taking
I
that
observe
from him,
everything.
right?
That Saturday, that party at
Yeah, okay, Africa.
bro, he
Nobody
bodied that
taking
set.
that
Yeah.
away from Nanny.
He bodied
Alright,
this
so
set.
we're gonna address that later. It's a conversation
He
that
bodied
needs to be
that
had,
set, but it's
and we're
like,
gonna have it.
come on, listen,
People grow, people evolve, people learn, and I think we're at that position where we've learned. And we have a better.
But let's dive into.
I'm just so happy to be here.
I'm great. It's great you brought it up. Let's dive into another topic of conversation.
Okay.
Let's dive into. We talked briefly about Afrobeats and Brunch and the impact. And one of the things that we also like to, the reason why we really are passionate and we do this event is the fact that we get a chance to really promote our music. Mm-hmm. So and you know what I'm saying, the impact. And you guys have seen people that have been able to gravitate, and we've had celebrities come and things like that, so, which is dope, because at the end of the day, it's like this thing has also been able to create a certain culture.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So now, and that's why we wanted to do this podcast, because now we feel like there's a conversation that needs to be had in regards to certain current events and certain things that we talk about and we've talked about. We've had conversations. I've heard you guys talking about. Like, one of the things that I definitely want to talk about is, the Nigerian artists, Burna Boy, Whiskey, we on and on, right?
Everything.
Like, they're at the helm of things right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's like of course, us being Ghanaian, we're like, we have.
You have your artists too.
We have artists too. We have real dope talents as well. But why is it that, like, it seems like you guys have, you know what I'm saying? You guys are at the, like, everybody is looking at you guys. You know what I'm saying? Compared to.
I think with our artists, once we have artists that break through, it's like, whoa, like Wizkid, Davido, Tiwa, Yemi, Burna, like, we have so many that are they just have this polarizing character to them, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are just so drawn to them, and it's just like they take their star power and it just goes not only all over the continent, but globally.
I think, and I agree with you, I definitely agree. And one of the things that I see, and I always tell when I'm having conversation with Pistic and John Doe, it's like, you got your branding. Your branding is like, the branding is top notch. Like, one of the like, Burna's branding, like, down to his style and everything. It's like, come on, how does that not spell a star?
And
or
it's the African giant, it's top notch. Yeah.
Look, yesterday he was on the Jimmy Fallon.
You saw the outfit.
Like, and
can I wait? I look up that jacket, right? I said, let me just dream.
Let me just dream.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, $9,000.
They are getting money.
Charlie,
they are getting money.
I just exit the browser.
I
will stick to my Zara leather jacket because
but
the style.
I think you know what it is. Like, I think the Nigerian artists, they've just grasped the concept that professional, and that this music thing is not. It's a lifestyle. It's not just about the music. It's about the arts. It's about the fashion, everything. They have all of that embodied.
And I think the thing with Ghanaian artists, I don't know if the management or the branding is the same, because I think somebody like Kwesi Arthur should be huge. Yeah. He is super talented. Like Kwesi Arthur, we have people
hold on.
Kitty.
I wasn't at Kwesi Arthur's event, but like how many people you think that event did?
It was a sold out event, but the population was mostly female. So
with
that being said,
I just want the number.
How was it so? I mean,
how many?
Oh, you were there.
You were there.
I heard.
How many people was in it?
How many people were there?
It looked packed.
How much?
But isn't
people
it
at the
crazy
space
how
take?
somebody like Kwesi Arthur is in town and males not even intrigued, like you not even.
Yeah.
And
that's
y'all
one
like
of
the
our
main
top
people.
artists.
Y'all the main people when an artist is in town.
They reach out.
Y'all make the noise.
One of the.
I never saw Mills post that flyer. I never saw this guy.
One of the positive, it holds 400. That venue hold about 400 people.
Because Jules did an event there.
Yes, he did. We were there. In regards to what you said, as far as on a positive note, as far as the Ghanaian artists, right? You have Kwesi Arthur, you have King Promise, you have Kitty, all these young artists. You have Darko Vibes.
Yes.
All these young Joey B. You have all these, and I mean, if I'm talking about the young ones that are that I feel like what I said as far as the music as the culture is concerned, the fashion, Mike Tyson, fire. But it's like a person like Darko Vibes, you can tell like there's a sense of creativity there. There's all of those things there. There are these young, but it's like what are they missing? Like, what is it that they're dope?
It's that, that professionalism, because when you see Wizkid do a concert, the whole African community is talking about it. Wizkid will do the O2 Arena. Davido would do the O2 Arena. Burna Boy just did Wembley. It's the way it's promoted. It's like it's worldwide news in terms of the African community. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a situation with Kwesi Arthur, there's no reason why that man should have been at Chelsea Music Hall.
But then again, here's what. Manny, hold on. We just looked up the capacity. 250. It's not 450.
For somebody for Kwesi Arthur,
that's what I'm saying. Even if he did 400,
you,
Kwesi Arthur is not a 400.
He's not.
That's an upcoming artist type of thing.
But let me say this too.
I don't know if they do that for IG just to show people we sold out this venue.
I think that's exactly what it is.
But Ghana, one thing I noticed about the music, like, how come we book an artist and the day before the event he's still in Ghana? He don't even know where his visa is. Like,
man,
yeah. So I think to address all the conversation about the Ghanaians being behind in everything they do,
I don't want to necessarily use that word behind.
I am going to use the word behind for various reasons. It's my words, right?
You don't stop.
But trust me, like, he can use that word. Like,
okay, true. You're right.
Comparing Burna Boy to, let's say, even Sarkodie right now.
The reason why I say that is various things, right? Because Kwesi Arthur could be at the high level like Zlatan, because they represent the streets, right? However, I think Ghanaians are a bit greedy in regards to their approach from an organization standpoint and a branding standpoint.
Absolutely.
And the reason why I say greedy, I've looked at various concerts that have been done. I haven't seen any Ghanaian doing something outside of the box besides the stage and the DJ. Right? I haven't seen them put out a full production,
live
screens, everything to make it look more exciting. And also, doing research, I found out Kwesi Arthur was actually in Ebro in the morning. Nobody talked about it because
I never knew about
he was in New York and it was very sad. He didn't have a club appearance. He didn't connect with the.
He even come to the
And
show.
you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah, I
on.
have artists
And you
when
know
they come
what's
here, they come to the
crazy?
souk.
You know what's crazy?
And
When
shout
he did Ebro, he was supposed to do an event. Remember, he was supposed to be there. So I thought
A week before.
Shout out to Vito.
You canceled an event
Real
to come
quick.
to Ebro.
Real quick, shout out to Vito. That's an example.
That video didn't even come to us. He did stuff with y'all.
He came to shout out, and this is the type of the caliber of artist. But the thing is, the Vito understands that this is where the culture
what it is.
This is where I know I'm coming.
I'm coming to New York. I'm coming to
The reason why I'm addressing
And that's that is
artist ever. Like,
No, but
that
the reason
guy is down. Like
and that's why he's always
with everybody on the same.
That's
level.
part of the reason what I wanted to say in regards to Ghanaians being greedy and not wanting to collaborate with people and spread the wealth, right? They want to keep everything to themselves and things don't go as planned. Because if you look at all these artists, right, they come into the community and they partner with people that run the society or the event space in each city. They'll have a better reach, one, and also they'll be exposed to a better audience, and things will go smoothly, and they'll have a wider range of exposure that they need. But what I've been seeing, most of the artists come and then they do their little thing and they stick in their box. The general audience that are the regular party goers don't see it, so they don't even care for it.
And that's what I'm talking about, the promotion. Like, when we do things, it's on a grand scale. You know, like when Burna came, he did Hot 97.
No, he's
105.
Listen, marketing is.
But that's what I'm saying. Just like he said, why did they know
the
about
whole
this
Burna
artist?
was a Lesouk.
Come on.
Listen, let me give you a good example. The day before that Ghana big concert we had in March.
PlayStation Theater, right?
Burna did Apollo Theater the night before. He sold out one event. One artist sold out that whole event. We had about 10 artists on that Ghana. R2Bs, Joey B, Daco Vibes, Medical, and it didn't still sell out.
And why do you think the reason for that?
Hold on, and one reason.
Yeah, a lot of people. I went. I was there. It wasn't.
Oh, y'all wasn't on that?
No, we weren't on that. But no, there were a lot of people there. No, I was there.
No, but I'm saying
it was close to
I
soda.
was close to soda.
But what he's saying is, artists of that caliber.
That is true. I know the point he's trying to make, but I just
9 artists. 9.
Even if they sold out, it shouldn't take 10 Ghanaian artists.
You know what a lot of you want?
That's
false. And I'll tell you why. When you look at artists, it's not just about the artists. Artists don't sell out events. based on where Afrobeat is the promotion.
It's the promotion.
And the people
It's
behind
the
it.
Can I say something?
Because I'll tell you this, right?
Yeah, the
If I
promotion.
bring a Quincy author to New York, I can't sell out. Because I don't have the audience to promote him the way he should be promoted, right? But if he probably comes to y'all, you guys know more.
100%.
You guys have that access to that society, that people that will come out to dance, right?
Definitely.
And that's how it works with promotions. It's not just about the artists. And that's why you look at various artists, they go through various channels. They don't do it on their own. They go to various channels to get that wider reach. Because some people are dedicated and experienced
Most
to
definitely.
promote things and do it the right way.
Yeah.
Your job as an artist is to be an artist. Why a promoter's job is to be a promoter, to promote the artist.
And
so
that's
that-
one big problem with the Ghanaian industry right now. Cause out here in New York, everybody want to be the go-to man
That's true.
when it comes to
Everybody wants to be
when it
number
comes
one.
to the Ghanaian artist. Like, how come like Kwesiata is in town? Like, there is Big Five, like what you call it, next level. Let's say that. How come none of those promotion teams
Can't
is
teach
on
you
your
right
event? Like, none of them. And these are people that pull out Ghanaian crowd. You a Ghanaian artist.
You're coming from Ghana, you don't know the demographic here, and
And you wanna do everything by
but that's what
yourself.
he's talking about. The
Yeah,
greed.
no.
Mills wasn't there. You wasn't there. Like, none of the promoters was there.
But here, like, before we jump to what I wanna else I wanna address and what I wanna talk about John Doe, there's something, because I agree with you guys, I do, but there's something that when I have this conversation too with John Doe, he's just like, in regards to Ghanaian artists in Ghana, what they compare to how Nigerian artists
It's
are
all
treated in
about
Nigeria.
money.
So get
The population of Nigeria is a lot. It's
Nah,
so.
look. He has
I
a
was
point,
saying that.
but
What is he
still,
getting at? What is he
but-
getting at?
hold on,
No,
and then
so-
you're saying even the example with the artist. I want
I
you to
know.
talk.
So there's money. It's like we talking about. It's money in the system. So Nigerian artists are getting money from labels in Nigeria. Nobody's doing that in Ghana.
You know what? Part of it is false because if Kwesi Author wants to sign with an RCA in America, I could do that for him, right?
No,
but I'm trying to get to somewhere. Labels here want to sign the artists now. They want to sign all these artists because they have the numbers. A lot of Ghanaian artists have the numbers, but they don't know how to monetize those numbers. And that's part of the
Definitely
problem, right? If you look at all the big artists in Nigeria, like the Burna Boy, he signed to a RCA, a big record label. Forget about what he's doing in Africa.
But this is just recent though.
But they've all had that. It's just it's being pushed differently now. Techno just finished his contract. He just ran out. He's about to resign, and he's looking for a new house, right? Wizkid is signed. Davido is signed. Everybody is signed, and they have various structure.
You talking about I'm talking about the past. Like, let's go back 15 years ago. This is not. We talking about Nigerian-based record labels is still giving out money to people.
So
It's
from-
never
from
been like
15
that.
years ago. That's like Two-Face, D'banj.
They were still getting money.
You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
Big money.
And that's the
but
point he's trying to make.
we've never had that. We've never had that. Can promise on all these people, they still grinding. Nobody's really giving them.
Like they haven't had the mainstream.
That's I don't agree with
In
that.
America, I feel
disagree.
like record labels.
I disagree.
Get
It's
somebody.
bullshit.
Is Sarkodie signed?
It's not even that.
But that's what I'm asking. That's the point he's trying to make.
To who?
Does he want to get signed? That's the problem.
No, that's the
No,
greed
it's
you
not about
talking
getting
about.
signed. Let me tell you. Let me explain further. So I feel like getting signed it gives you a different type of energy. Imagine getting signed and you have $5 million in your account. Now you get up, you could buy a car, go to the club, buy bottles. Now you could talk about, you can live the life you're talking about. That's what American artists do. Whatever they talk about is the life they really live.
I respect your opinion, but it's
like,
false.
let me finish. The Ghanaian artist, he has no money. He wakes up, he has no money for his studio time. So it's like,
That is false.
why
I'm
you
not
think
against it,
that's-
but I'll tell you that is false.
why is that
Because
false?
I'll tell you why that is false. They have the audience. They
We're
have
talking about 15 years ago. We're not talking about now.
We're not talking. We can't talk about 30 years from now. We're talking
No,
about
that's what built the platform
No,
to
but that's
now.
talking about the foundation.
That's
But
the
You
foundation.
can never talk about the past and
Can I
that
say
man.
something?
Everybody had the same struggle. Everybody had the same struggle.
No, no.
At
I
the
think
end
what,
of the day, we complain about Nigerians having this large
It's
amount
not that.
of numbers.
No,
I don't
their
think that-
language-
We
I
wasn't
don't
born. We
think-
wasn't born with it.
First of all, look, Kwesiata, you want to be signed, do this, all of that. You can't even sell to your own crowd. You can't even sell out a venue. So what makes you think like?
But back to Mill's point, that's not his fault. That's the promoter's
But
fault.
at the end of the day,
The
it all
marketing.
falls
It's the
under,
market, but
it all
that's what
falls
I'm
under
So
him.
from the first,
He has to say too.
initially from our first, when you guys ask why is it that Nigerians are, it seems like they have the spotlight. It's because of who they have behind them. If you want to go, if you want to go somewhere, right? You need somebody to push you in the music industry. There's no artist in the music industry that has by themselves, no team, no PR, no publicist, no nothing. These are the different things that get the artist to where they want to be. And this is all I'm trying to say.
No,
certain artists don't have it, and it shows. You know what I'm saying? With these Ghanaian artists, they are super talented.
Super.
I'm talking about vocals. I'm talking about lyrics. I'm talking about even swag. If you don't have the team behind it, it means absolutely nothing.
Can I say one thing? You can't use the excuses and what happened in the past to address today. And I'll tell you why.
That's a foundation, though.
No, don't talk about the foundation because there are some artists that have been around for back in the days. They're not relevant now, right? You could talk about foundation pushing money on them. Shatawale, what is it, Stonebwoy? They've been around for a long time. If they wanted to attach themselves to a big RECA and be bigger, they could do that. Because if they come to New York, they could shut down PlayStation. They could do it by themselves. They could do a joint concert. That's besides the point. What I want to address
the marketing.
Yeah, I know they could do it if they allow themselves to put out the foundation.
That's what he said. They're not allowing
the point that I'm trying to make is for this artist, you can't make the excuses of them not having the money behind them. Because if they wanted access to that money, they could get it. Right?
It's
People are willing.
other things.
If someone comes to you to do the event like this artist, you will do it. People are willing to help.
Wait,
but are these artists
prepared? Wearing Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah. But
listen,
are they willing to accept that help?
Because you have a great point. One of the things that I want us to touch base on too, and I feel like I want us to show love to our female artists and talk about briefly the female, Afrobeat artists that have also made an impact in this industry in the past, decade and so on. Mm-hmm. Listen. I'll break the ice right now and start with right now. One of my I love Tenny. I'm a fan of Tenny, and I'm a fan of Tenny because.
You don't like her performance?
No,
definitely not.
Pros and cons. That's a definite con.
I agree with you, bro. I love Tenny till I saw her at the Nigerian.
No,
that was a big turn for everybody.
She turned me up, bro.
But her creativity.
But I want Africa.
She gives
One Africa.
One Africa is a main event. Hold on, her creativity. She gives me that Missy Elliott type vibe, showing that I could be a big girl, but I'm so swaggy. I'm out here. I can do little
and
steps.
She's super creative with her music.
Super creative. So shout out.
On the flip side too, in another genre, I love my Ghanaians. Shout out to my big sis Afia, man. That's my big sis. You feel me? I love
that girl can sing.
I love her voice. It's like a Lauryn Hill type of soul. I really wish she was bigger than what she was because she deserves it.
Real talk, skin tight. That was because of her. Real talk. I would like that. If you when that first came out, I go there, your body that was the come on
So what do you think she's missing?
Management.
The team. That's what it goes back to.
Management.
And honestly, rest in peace,
Ebony.
That's a good one.
Even now, let me tell you something. Lil Souk, right?
Her music.
You played "If You Break My Heart, I Go Date Your Father." Every chick is in there passionate about it. Yeah, if you break, you know what I'm saying, Ebony.
That was bad.
What are you guys' thoughts on Tiwa Savage?
She's initially they pushed her as a the Beyonce of Africa, not even just Nigeria. She's a pop star. She started in London, came to Nigeria, blew up. I like her style, I feel like a lot of people feel like, she's not giving them much of what they want. You know what I'm saying? It's not what they're looking for as compared to somebody like Yemi, and I don't really compare Yemi is
Yemi's fire.
Culture. Yemi transcends to American crowds, Spanish it's
easy.
Yes, it's crazy, but in their own rights, they're both they're both amazing artists, and she definitely just signed a deal as well too, right?
She's ready to record.
She definitely signed a deal too. So
Marvin's. But however, just to address, I forgot the American label, but it's an RCA. But what I want to say about Tiwa, I think part of the problem in regards to her overall package is a collaboration. She doesn't. She in the beginning time, I don't know what it is. If you look at all her music, how many females has she collaborated with, right?
That's another thing.
I think part of what you see is that she was fighting to push herself in the industry and focused on the wrong things. She wanted to attach herself more to the fellas, and she didn't get that support, and she neglected all the female artists, and she didn't really bring that togetherness in the scene. And I think that's why she's viewed a certain way.
Yeah.
Now she's amending her ways. She's reaching out to people. As you can see, this is the first time she posted Yemi's new album that dropped. So she's now extending her hands, but people are already over that whole movement because the time when they needed her to be able to extend that hand when she was in that position.
And you know, Africans are very. If
If
you offend me, I will never forgive you.
Yeah.
So,
So,
you know, hopefully.
it's one of those things. She should have dealt with it better and collaborated more.
But that's how it is though with when there's two big artists, like it's always, well, who's better than who? And sometimes artists let the media, you know, cause rift between them, and you know, going outside of our culture. That's what happened with Cardi B and Nicki. There was no issue initially, but the media, the blogs, fake pages, fake, you know, it caused tension between them, and it's just like that in Africa as well. Like, we can never have two great artists be at the top and just let them be there. We always have to compare, oh, who's better, who's this. And I get the whole competition thing, but sometimes let artists be artists.
I disagree somewhat in regards to the media thing, because media is always going to do what they have to do. But if something comes out, you can disagree with it and put an end to it, right? If I say, like the same way I said certain things about you, you step up and like, that's false. But I feel like the
But there's
artists...
still tension that gets caused though.
Yeah, the
And that's the
artists
issue.
feed into it and allow certain things. Okay, let's see how this plays out. And when it blows to an uncontrollable situation, then it becomes a whole
They have a
situation.
responsibility
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
I
Because
agree.
if I put out something and say white people did this, or you hate him, you be like, no, that's a lie.
First of all,
hey man, that's my brother.
I'm clearing up everything.
Exactly.
And if I gotta slap somebody, I'm gonna slap them.
Exactly. You clear the air and you know what to address and what not to address. But I feel like people allow it to happen so they could be on top, and then when it gets blown out of proportion.
Also, shout outs Niniola too. That's Tenny's sister.
Okay.
You know, the lady that made Maradona.
Maradona, she's
That's,
dope.
that's Tenny's sister.
Oh, actually,
Blood.
oh, I didn't- she's
Yeah.
dope. She's dope.
She
She's
makes
dope.
great music as well.
And you know, like this, we're gonna slightly stay on this, and I want to say this girl's name to transition to our next topic. The Shomo Jazzy chick,
South Africa.
the South African
John Cena.
John Cena.
Yeah.
Shout out Victoria Kamani as well.
No, I'm not even gonna lie. I saw her. I forgot. It was on this. What's that Colors thing? You know that Colors when they certain the singer they come in.
Yeah.
Oh, the
That's
Kelly Clarkson show.
No, before the Kelly Clarkson.
But
the first time
platform where they have artists,
that platform, it's like like Burna Boy's been on it. So that's when I first heard the John
with the
Cena.
microphone.
With the
Yeah.
microphone.
Yes.
And I heard it and I was like, yo, this girl is fire. And the next thing you know,
She goes on the Kelly Clarkson
she
show.
goes on the Kelly Clarkson show. The guy, John,
Johnson.
right
Showed
behind
out, she
you,
went
which
crazy.
was dope. But that brings me up to my next topic because it's like, and one of the things that for us we're gonna work on this year. And if you look, a lot of our conversation has been about basically Ghana, Nigeria, West Africa. Remember, we gotta remember too, Africa is a continent.
54
You know what I'm
countries.
saying? So there's so much more, like as far as Afrobeats is
Of
concerned in
course.
the music in East Africa.
And not all African
So-
music is Afrobeat.
and not all African music is African. You got the Francophone. You know what I'm saying? So you got East Africa with Shomo Jazzy. They're making noise in South Africa. You got Nasty C. You got the DJs. You look Black Coffee. Like you got all these people.
DJ Maporisa. Shout
You know
out
what
to
I'm
my
saying? Yeah,
guy.
like a lot of these that are also buzzing in all these other countries. That
definitely.
for us too, we have to. Even us, we talk about it all the time. We need to work on that. We need to work on.
'Cause they need love, too.
Because of
Rest
course,
in peace, Arafat. Man.
Yes.
rest in R.I.P. And this ask John Doe, and we went to One Africa Music Fest this year, right? Let me say, the headline was Burna Boy, of course, because of the amazing year Burna Boy's had. So when everybody saw the fact that Burna Boy's name was on, you're looking at that's going to be the show. I'm not going to hold you. When Diamond Platinum came on,
Yo, he been trying to get me on this Diamond Platinum wave.
yo, bro, when
I
Diamond
wasn't believe that
Platinum
that day.
came
I
on,
didn't believe
You
it.
haven't seen
it was crazy,
The
bro.
crowd was going crazy for like
Nuts.
literally 2 minutes when he came on
And-
stage.
And I don't know what
He
he's
was just
saying,
standing.
but he sounds dope. His sound is dope.
He's been trying to.
He can
He's been trying
dance,
to
he can
convince me
move.
for the
No,
longest time.
He got a wave going.
Bro, he got a wave
And people
going.
actually came out to see
A lot-
him.
he came out.
People came out
He,
to see
nah,
him.
low key, he pulled a Michael Jackson. He did.
Like for like 5 minutes, he didn't do anything. He just came and stood like that.
And they were just
like that.
clapping, making
Everybody
noise,
just
going
we just
off.
we like, what is going on?
Listen, I've been to different countries because I'm part of that whole establishment, and I've seen how people come out for him. Even when we have the after parties with all these artists, they bring out the most audience rather than the Nigerians and the Ghanaians and the West
I
Africans.
shot that day.
These people bring in. When we
And
went
they
to
went
London,
VIP
it's the
too.
same thing. When we went to Dubai, it's the same thing. Whenever we travel, there's a huge community for East African artists, and these are the headliners. Our Burna Boy, like Diamond, is like their Burna Boy for East Africans.
They have a song to Burna Boy. I think they got a song.
Yes,
Burna
and-
Boy,
yes.
I'm
Kaya Nama, something like that.
Something of that nature. So they are very massive. It's just that we are always preview to our own community and what we
that's one thing we said we're gonna work on. We need to really work on expanding.
But will the
We'll
people?
work
So
on-
like, you see how you guys have the
Similar
souk,
to-
right? I saw. Shout out to my brother Jonathan. I see y'all having like a East African.
Yeah.
type.
15.
Now here's the thing though. With that, we will put stuff like that out. Will the people show up?
No, I think with here
And
goes
people are very fickle
but
in New York.
Here goes back to what you guys said. It's all about the marketing,
Okay.
how it's pushed, how it's promoted. The
'Cause
people
I think that's
that
a great idea.
No, the people that are pushing, and we want to like even when we first started Afrobeats and Brunch, we did tap into the South African. We had a South African night. We had these DJs from South called Major League DJs. They're
I saw.
great, yeah.
I saw.
So we did that, but it's like we even
Sierra
Sierra Leone. Sometimes they ask us for Fulani music. You know, we're trying. For us too, we're
Because y'all are the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Y'all,
but I
y'all
feel
the
like you guys,
gatekeepers of the
guys don't take certain risks.
okay.
And I'll say why, right?
So address it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it because
Send
the
it-
risk,
send it down to the-
the risk is that if you're doing a South African night, right, we want half and half.
Okay, here we go. So let me tell you. Let me speak on that.
I think you're trying to protect your audience.
I'm not trying to protect my audience. Definitely not. But you see, one of the things that makes Afrobeats and Brunch also work is for us, it's the idea. We're Africans, but for us, it's the idea. Like for example, this South African night. We want to at the same time be able to attract, marketing wise, other people that are not South African to come to that event. And yes, they're going to hear that South African music, but they're also going to hear their music as well to be comfortable. But then at the same time to be like, yo, what is that sound? What song is that? What song is this? Prime example, let me tell you something. The song Riasiede, right? Riasiede, you if you're not Ghanaian, you don't speak Tree, you really don't know what they
Six
saying.
was listening to him like this.
Bopping. There was a night where that song was being played crazy. I swear to you, the next day in my DMs, at least 10 people, 10, 15, none of them was African, that asked me, what's that song?
But guess what? When we got to Ghana, it wasn't busting like that in Ghana.
Because of
Was it new or was it old?
No, to them it was like,
It was like one
It
of
was
the.
but it's
song.
the impact that we have, like,
I know, but
So-
you could say that to that music, Ghanaian, because you have the core
No,
Ghanaian.
but the South
representation
African,
of the soul.
no. So
Right?
with
But the John Cena song, if we had that South African crew in the building and they play that song, they will give you the energy that the
we
song
play,
needs.
we play John Cena every Sunday.
I know, but I'm talking about the audience.
Yes,
the
of
audience,
course, because-
I get used
but
to
this
this
is-
based on how people are
But this goes back to the elements of marketing. In order, yes, we may play the song, but we have to have certain people there that night that represent. Just like that night that we had the South African night, we had people there. We had DJ AQ. Shout out DJ AQ. She was there that night along with Major League DJs. Shout out my homeboy. He's from London. A Crizzle, Porsche, Grizz. You know what I'm saying? We had this whole crew. So you have to have all those elements. Same thing when we had the Sierra Leonean night. We had certain
That was a good
elements.
night. I think
That was a
I
dope
hosted
night.
that.
We had this dude Tokyo Ish, and we had all these girls that we know. You know what I'm saying? They were all pushing it.
Big
So those are the elements that we need. So it's not like, but the thing is, at the end of the day, regardless, it's a party. And look at the stretch of the party. So
You can't play South African music.
oh no, you got to be able to stretch it and balance it. But the goal you want is for them to leave that place. Other people, not the South Africans that are coming. For us to be able to really take this culture forward, and what we've been able to do and spread the word is have those people that are not South African or people that are not African like, yo, what was that sound? That sound was dope. And that's how we've been able, and that's how this whole thing, and all of us here, all of us sitting here are responsible for really helping push our culture forward. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think this is definitely a dope way to, give a closing. I think this is a dope, you know, Muoka, I appreciate you for addressing certain issues that, you know, needed to be talked about. I think that definitely needed to be talked about. Cleared the air.
So I gotta console myself.
Nigerians, they always scheming. No.
Yeah, I think I just consulted. I think that there's something we're missing from the whole conversation. Because part of this is about pushing the culture and the movement, right? And something that I forgot to mention that came from the streets is your DJs, right? And
There's no complaint. There's no complaint. It's you know.
Now, when you hear this, yeah.
So you're empowering your DJs, and last time I had a conversation on live, and we talked about cultural vultures, right? And so when you have a platform that says Afrobeats and your headliners are not Africans, right?
Great question.
How does that? How do people react to certain things? Is it based on relationship or is it based on what exactly?
That's not finished. I want to finish that question.
And then I'll
Wait, you want to finish it as in you want to kill it?
I gladly want to answer that question. I gladly want to answer that question.
It's not from me. If you're watching, this is not from me. It's from the streets.
You feel me?
You gonna go first, or how you want to do it?
Yeah, first of all, with the African crowd, right? We all been to a lot of parties. I never seen no DJ, all the MCs, the hosts I've seen on African parties. I think you was the only person that actually used to be on the mic. The hype those two guys bring, I think that's one major thing that made Afrobeats and Brunch.
Different.
It's a hope. Right now, if you come to Afrobeats and Brunch and they're not there, you will notice without even looking. That was a vibe our people didn't have. So if anything, they should be learning and using that to better whatever they got going on. There shouldn't be no complaints. If they are foreigners, why don't two African DJs collab and do the same thing they're doing and sell it to the African market? Why they have a problem with it?
I think it's more so, and not, you know, shout outs Kate Dog, shout outs Easy Pass, my brothers. I don't think it's so much so them being culture vultures. I think for me, the things I used to have an issue with was, you know, we would have like a lot of, now I have an issue with a lot of, you know, these Caribbean promoters and DJs, you know, trying to come in on the culture, you know, but they would never play no African music at their parties. You understand? They wouldn't give no DJs, no type of prime time slots. You understand what I'm saying? But I feel like we're too, you know what, come. And I think that's an issue because, and that also, you know, it also becomes a problem because a lot of them don't know a lot of our songs. They'll play the popular ones, but you know they'll probably have 4 or 5 songs in their crate. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, no. I personally I don't like you know the people that don't take the time to study our culture, but they want to be a part of it. Not saying that, you know, your DJs
of course
do that.
No.
Because
they good.
You know they good, but it's just the topic of having people that are not African represent a brand called Afrobeats and Brunch.
Before you talk, how many of our DJs know how to talk on the microphone?
I think I'll be nice to sustain.
But he's at Afrobeats and Brunch.
But this is
Hold on.
what are the DJs?
Afrobeats and Brunch is not just
hold on. Let him answer.
African.
Let him answer. What are the DJs?
Buka talks.
That's why
Buka actually dances. He actually invented like bringing stuff on stage. He's more than a DJ now. Do you know why? That's one of the reasons why he's leveling up. He gives his crowd an experience. He's dancing. He leaves the stage, leaves his machine, his computer, and be in front of the stage and going in. You gotta understand, people is excited about stuff like that. Our DJs just play like a playlist.
They play their songs.
90% of the DJs just play
out.
I don't care for that.
I just have a lot of issues with, you know, a lot of these non-African DJs trying to. I feel like they're trying to.
But you can't help it. It's our moment.
I get where you're coming from. No, I get where you're coming from with that, especially in regards to certain DJs.
You can't promote.
Let me say this. Let me say this. I've been doing events for a very long time. Not just Afrobeats, from urban events to Caribbean events, all of that. So for me, and even back to my conversation before, the purpose of Afrobeats and Brunch, yes, it's a base for our people. So it's something that we have that we can be proud of and say, this is us. But our mission and our goal as well is to spread how dope our music is to the masses.
Of course.
And one, how do we do that? We need to also include people that are not Africans to do so. And
let them spectate though. That's
no,
my thing.
hold on.
That's
But there are certain people or certain DJs. We're not even gonna say it like that. DJs period, not certain, DJs period. What you have to have, and this is why genres like hip hop and the Caribbean music has gone so far. And this is where we lack in Afrobeats as far as our DJs. Not too many of them are like that. When DJs like hip hop DJs or Caribbean DJs, the top ones, when it's their set, you would think that they were the artists. They are pushing the music, they're putting on a show with those songs, and they're promoting those songs so well, and the delivery. You would think that they're the artists. That's why you have people like Khaled, Mustard, those type, you know what I'm saying? Because they push the music like they're the artists. When Easy Pass and K-Dog are on set on those Sundays, the type of delivery that they have
to be.
So it's not about whether you African or whether you, because in hip hop you can say the same thing. Real talk, in hip hop, a lot of the people that are on High 97 and all that, they're all Spanish. You know what I'm saying? No, seriously. You know what you could sit there and you could say the same thing. But you have to, we need to get out that mindset, stop looking at and appreciate the fact that Afrobeats is a craft, and whoever can execute that craft well and help take that craft or help take that to the next level and spread the word. Do you know how many Haitians come to the souk now? Do you know how many different people come to the souk to hear Afrobeats? Not just our people. That's something we need to as right now hold to like just
I'm just against the people that's trying to profit.
But right now,
and that's
of course I agree with that
shit going on.
K-Dog and Easy Pass set, it's a hip hop set. It's not an Afrobeat session. I'd be next place Afrobeat.
No,
I can't say that.
No, that's
But
not.
hold on,
It's not just hip hop set.
Say something.
No, they play everything.
They play everything.
No,
They
but
play
they only
everything.
play the
But
top 40.
Manny,
Sometimes no.
Manny, can
Not
I
just the
address
top
what
40.
he said, right?
No, they play. Hold on. They
Manny.
play everything as they should.
Okay,
No,
if
as
it
they
is
should.
Most of it, they
Manny,
don't play most
can I say
Afrobeat
something? If we about promoting the culture, right? Why are we even worried about foreign DJs like taking over our songs?
Trying to
Yeah,
learn our
they
culture.
do know if K-Dog and Easy Pass get their Caribbean gigs. I've been at their events a lot. You know they play Afrobeats, right? And you know what that does for the culture?
It spreads it.
It spreads it.
But
So why
still,
we
you guys are missing.
bro?
You're missing my point.
No,
I'm not
I know
saying
your
that.
point.
Wait, hold on.
No, it's
I don't
not
want
you.
people to think.
It's
I don't
the
want.
street.
I don't want. Yeah, I don't want them to
like,
think it's
what-
like, oh, if you're not African, you should not be playing. No, of course not. My
I think
mission
they're-
and our mission is to push, but you need to respect, understand, and cherish it. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, K-Dog and
That's
Easy
all I'm
Pass,
saying.
These are not DJs you can sit and say we're just giving them a prime time.
They are willing to
and
learn.
it's Afrobeat. These guys actually take flight to go to Ghana.
they are invested in the
Don't
culture.
get carried
So
away
these-
with that statement though, because
No, I see what
Nothing
because right now,
personal here. Nothing personal here.
where I see where YP is making a point, because right now, because of where Afrobeats because of where Afrobeats is going in general, there are people that were not paying attention to
100%.
Afrobeats before that are now.
But now
my
that I can
problem.
agree with.
It's becoming an
I
issue.
get
You
his
can't
point.
That I
help
can
it.
agree with.
People's gonna bet on it.
But at the same time,
They
you gotta look
have
at it as a
to
positive
Afrobeats
note.
to promote,
Yo,
and it's
back in
like
the day, nobody was
songs played.
even we can talk about this decade, 2010 to 2019. Because let's be real, Afrobeats been popping, but in Europe, not here. It been popping. We just the ones that's catching up with it.
Shout outs to UK Afrobeat.
Yeah, bro,
They've
it's
on that
been
wave.
popping. We just catching on. So at the same time too, we also gotta appreciate the fact of what's going on right now.
Yeah, I'm happy
Even the
with
fact
what
that,
you're saying.
bro, and you should be able to have that right, because the same way when if it's Caribbean, if it's Caribbean music, and if it's somebody other than Caribbean, they'd be saying the same thing you're saying too. Or so you have the right to also say that, but if at the same time too, we have the right to say that, but we also have the right to be happy about what's going on right
Yes.
now. To be happy at the fact that these people are even saying like,
I'm more happy than upset, though.
Yeah, like, we-
Wow.
to
Our
be
friend
happy.
is on the radio.
Yeah.
yeah, like,
All over the radio.
Come on.
And it's not just one.
yo,
So,
but listen, yo, this was dope.
Very good.
Yo, we really appreciate you guys
This,
coming
this
tonight.
trophy.
Yo, you guys into
Yeah.
Dolo.
We'll cry.
Yo, shout out, yo.
Shout out to Yasuya, not that good though. But
Yeah.
we gon'
You know what?
It's not better than
you
us.
know what? You know what? For the suya, I will give it to you guys. The jollof, that'd be another story. But we're gonna end this conversation right here. We're gonna end it
With
now.
Ghana Jollof being the best jollof.
Shout out to
Senegalese,
AfrobeatsAndBrunch. Shout out to
Senegalese.
YP. Shout out to Muoka.
Shout out to
John
Theory.
Doe, Pistic. You already
Whole Theory
know.
worldwide.
Tune in for our next episode. Thank you.
I need to get back into this rice.
That was good, guys.
I need some water, please.
I think this
My
second-
phone ringing off, saying like, what